Hello and welcome to another edition of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem, a show where we answer your most pressing questions about the most recent episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved, which was the Florida Machete murder. All the questions we're answering today came from you guys via our BuzzFeed Unsolved Facebook page, our BuzzFeed Unsolved Instagram page, as well as directly on the video on Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
But we don't have to talk about that. But just know that if you watch this later, like
that's where our heads are at.
We're in the timeline where we just watched Game of Thrones and Endgame in the same weekend, and BuzzFeed Unsolved, as everyone is saying out there.
Yes. This week we're in this place. We got ghouls in the library.
What he means to say is this week we're in this room.
Yes, but we brought along our pal.
We did bring the horse.
Yeah. We're talking about this week's episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved. Why don't we start with Grahamtown? This is from Bingo Charitable. Postmortem, I have a question. Why would the town's police officers even want to protect the victim's husband? I mean, he was a real estate agent, and apparently not a very good one. What type of influence would he even have on the town? Do you think he might have paid them off and to frame their neighbor? Sorry, this is so long. Love you guys, by the way.
He was a former mayor, so I guess he does hold some water with the police. Maybe they...
People love former mayors. Right?
Yeah, they don't like current mayors.
Current mayors, because it's like, oh, why'd you knock down that tree to build a gas station?
I don't know if they went out of their way to make this man seem innocent. I wonder if he actually, I don't think he did it. This isn't really a question, but it's from Abby9384. She says, things I learned from this video. 1, never move to Florida. 2, Shane is totally a demon at 1636. And 3, Shane ate his pet bird.
Well, 2 of those things are incorrect. Well, I mean, if you want to.
So you did eat your pet bird?
No.
You said 2 of them were incorrect, which leaves the 3rd.
I'll say all 3 because I'm gonna go to bat for Florida here, all right? I've been to Florida. They got great geckos.
Look, I don't want to shit on any place, but I will say that if you're coming to bat for a place and the first thing you could think of in terms of offering a defense is got great geckos.
You should see these things, they're everywhere.
Probably not a good place.
Other things to address. No, I didn't eat my parrot. We kept him in the freezer because the ground was too hard. I made that very clear in the episode. We had to wait till the thaw.
Little parrot popsicle.
Here's from Big Poppa Fuse. I'm honestly not surprised 2 old ladies were murdered in Florida with a machete. At a McDonald's my friend got fired from just a couple months before she applied there. Someone threw an alligator through the drive-through window because they gave him 5 McNuggets instead of the regular 6. Just saying, Florida's been messed up from the start. Not really a question there, just a fun yarn.
That's a fun anecdote. So does he carry gators in his car with him at all times so he can throw them as projectiles?
So? You know, I worked at a ballpark once and somebody threw a milkshake at me.
Did it connect?
Yes, it did.
I can't imagine living in a place where gators are just an occupational hazard of living there. Enough where people are slinging them at people's faces in a drive-thru. It's insane. There's probably worse things you could throw at somebody.
Poop?
Poop would be one of them, yeah.
Maybe poop.
This comes from Hannah K. Riley. What happened to Frances? Was there ever any more evidence collected? Was her and Athalia's murder ever connected? Was there ever a trial? It wasn't really explained in the episode what happened to Frances. Love you guys. I didn't see this last part, especially Ryan. Hashtag Bukar all the way. I didn't put that in I really did. It was good.
Hang on a sec, I gotta say this last part.
No, I didn't.
Get a load of
see
this.
It. Yeah, Frances. On a murder weapon alone, it was not the same killer. Though people did link the 2 murders together, collectively that town in Florida kind of was just like, yeah, I don't...
It was like a murder town?
Doesn't seem connected. All the police just kept saying none of the murders were connected. And for whatever reason, the only one they really cared about was Athalia. From what I know, Frances did not go to trial. That did not happen. Another thing that's noteworthy about Frances is that she was writing a book about Athalia. Right. At the time of her murder. So she could have been writing about details of the murder itself.
So what if the murderer is out there, you know, and this lady's going around town, because she was sort of taunting him, right?
Yeah, she was.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of it, I'll write a book about it.
She was definitely jawing a little bit.
Yeah. So she's walking around town, Murder's like, yeah, I should really do something about that lady. I gotta get a new machete, who knows what'll happen.
Yeah.
He's out walking late at night, sees her, and is like, No time like the present. What do I got? Hey, a break.
Well, you would think this guy would have like a machete and a sling or something, like ready to go.
Do you think that?
If he did have a machete on his back, the first person they would look at in this case would be like, oh, it's Machete Hank.
Right,
He's the guy who carries the machete around all the time.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, Hank would be
He'd be like, yeah, got me. Dance with me here. More often than not, they catch serial killers who have a pattern.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So that the better ones know to zag.
Yeah, what about that?
It's possible.
Detective Brain. Let's see what he's got for us this week. Free range.
Wait, we didn't keep the music. We gotta keep the
music. I want to stress that he is speaking in the third person at the top here. I'm not just doing that for him.
So it's a he.
He or she, God knows. Free range grass hates this case. Not only is the idea of human occupation in Florida unsettling, the act of allowing this lovely woman's blood to tarnish the purity of the grass outside her home is truly disgusting. The grass remembers, I will be their sword, or poetically, machete, in the night. Do with that as you will. Also, I do not know who Sean Madej is. God bless America. So clearly distancing themselves from me. Doesn't even know my name. I saw someone point out that this account actually predates, I think, even the hot dog.
You know, I'll say this.
What do you say?
If it's revealed at some point in our timeline that you are in fact free range grass, the amount of patting yourself on the back you're doing right now is
This is from October 23rd, 2016. That's when they started.
How genius of you. This is from Facebook from Carmen Martin. If the machete used in Athalia's murder was found in the swamp, judging by the bloody shirt that was found with it, then wouldn't James still having his machete in his possession prove that he wasn't responsible? Do they think that he had more than one?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. People in Florida, they got multiple machetes. They probably got like their old standby, the one that their father gave them when they were like 9 years old.
I kind of want to connect this to another question just to save time here.
Okay.
There's another Facebook question. This one comes from Almog Azule. I'm not going to read the whole question, but I'm going to point out the first sentence because that explains the sentiment. I'm positive that the neighbor was framed when all of the evidence was just so conveniently pointed at him. Okay, so if you remember in the episode, the killer was wearing something very similar to what Stanford wears, the neighbor. And they saw this person run towards his house. There was a blood trail leading back to Stanford's house.
Yeah. It's all very convenient.
Very convenient. This other person, Carmen, asked, James still having a machete in his possession, wouldn't that prove he wasn't responsible?
I mean, you also have to consider a person who would rage murder someone with a machete may not be in the right state of mind.
Well, what I'm positing here,
okay, I'm with you,
is that maybe if this was a frame job, they're framing the neighbor.
Yes.
The only person I could think of who would have that motivation is her husband. One, because they were having some disputes, maybe he wanted to get rid of her. He also sees that, he sees that the neighbor is having a dispute with Athalia, this long chronicled feud.
True.
He sees like, oh, I could get rid of two birds, one stone here.
One stone.
Detective Brain.
Detective Brain. Hey, you got one too. I never said you didn't.
No, I feel like you did.
No, I never said that. I think you got a great Detective Brain.
Well, you're saying it now because the cameras are on.
No, that's not true.
Once they turn off, it's nothing but hurtful words.
Here's from Sean Courtney Films. Hiya, boys. The aspect of the case that struck me the most was the fact that the forensics expert identified the laundry mark as Stanford's name. Even if the mark was too faint, it's remarkably convenient that the expert recognized the mark as Stanford's. What do you guys think? Can't wait for the next episode, and thanks for all the laughs.
This kind of goes back into what we were saying before about it maybe being a frame job.
It's all a little too convenient. Yeah, this ties into that.
It's either too convenient or
very sloppy.
Yeah, or if Stanford did this in a fit of rage, a crime of passion, and didn't really think things through.
Yeah.
Like maybe she had one last passive-aggressive remark towards him, and he was like, well,
you know what? It's
you stay
machete time.
You stay right there. I'll be right back. Marches into his house, grabs his machete, and that's the picture wrap on Athalia. It's possible. It seems like that's actually the case. The sheriff himself also said, I'm pretty sure it was him. Granted, we did discuss that the police kind of liked her husband. So I guess it'll be unsolved, folks.
Okay, it's Roastmaster time, baby.
My heart rate's up.
Let's get
My
that
heart
heavy
rate's
metal
up.
playing.
If I hear the wrong thing, I may lose
Oh,
my
you're gonna
cool.
go nuts. Here we go.
For the roast mortem, Shane's like a 12-foot tall Kermit the Frog from my nightmare, sprinting towards me in a dark forest and screaming "Rainbow Connection" as he gains speed, and Ryan is the kid who'd scream "Time out" before getting tagged. Hashtag Shaniac brah. Hashtag BuzzFeed Unsolved. Hashtag roast mortem. I got one more hashtag for you. Weak.
Oh no, I think they nailed you on that one.
weak.
Yeah. No, time out. No,
no, that's not me.
Yeah.
That would assume you could catch me.
Oh, you got those. They're little legs, but they're fast.
Oh, they're fast. Did you not see the intro, how I warmed up? I'll do it again.
Whoa! Try and catch him. He's like Sonic the Hedgehog over there.
I'm running circles
all right,
around
all
you.
right, bro. All right, okay. Here's from McRyson. For roast mortem, roses are red. Ryan's hair looks like a turd. I can't believe Shane ate his frozen dead bird.
You know what? I'll take it.
I don't think your hair looked like a turd.
Well, I think you definitely ate that dead bird.
I didn't, but I like the rhyming.
Rena girl, Shane's glasses make him look like Clark Kent. If Clark Kent was a hipster barista and his superpower was getting stoned.
I'm not wearing those glasses right now, there.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
That's the first one that legitimately made me LOL.
Unsolved pilots! Hi, yeah, for the roast mortem.
Your brain melted for a second.
I don't even have to try to roast you guys because this episode was, let's see, 3 hours and 20 minutes late. If you left something in the oven for that long, it'd be on fire, just like you guys, because you just got roasted!
We did get roasted. That's 505 likes. That was pretty good.
They got us, you know?
You know, sometimes you gotta put a little extra oomph.
A little extra finesse,
to make sure that the
Make sure that. Oh, and wasn't it a delectable episode? I think it was.
I think
you ate that whole dang cake, baby.
Yeah, I think you watched it, liked it so much that you went to go and comment on it later.
Oh, I didn't care for this episode too much, except that you
clearly did.
Come on.
That's like when someone's like, oh, I didn't really enjoy the meal. You look at their plate, completely empty.
Chocolate all over your face.
Unbelievable.
Oh, I got a roast for you guys. Once I'm done licking all the icing off my little fingers.
Yeah, I'm lightheaded from this roast mortem.
I think you're lightheaded from sucking your own fingers.
Who's the Roastmaster this week? Who are we giving it to?
It's got to go to Rena Girl.
It's got to go to Rena Girl?
Rena Girl really did make me laugh. It was fun. It was creative.
All the way down to the last word.
Down to the last word.
That's what it's all about. So, study this one.
It's good. Everyone study that.
Yeah.
Roastmaster.
I'll put my hands
and now Rena Girl.
Now it's there.
And now Rena Girl under there.
What's coming up this week, Ryan? Because there's another episode.
There is another episode. The case we're dealing with is from the 20s. Lots of twists and turns to this one. Really hard to peg this one down. Can't really say too much more about that because...
You want to keep them guessing, you got to tune in.
That does it for this episode of...
You got it.
That does it for this episode of... What are you doing?
We're just closing it out, man.
That does it for this episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved. I see what you're doing. You did not think I have peripheral vision. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I'll lean forward. That way I can't see you. That does it for this episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem. Make sure you send in your questions to the BuzzFeed Unsolved Facebook page, the BuzzFeed Unsolved Instagram page, or comment directly on the video on Bun. And maybe you'll be in the next episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem.